welcome to LA Love Creative. Today we're going to talk about how to spruce up the background of your photos. If you haven't, make sure you turn on notifications so that you know when we post a video.
Cue the intro.
Cue the intro. I am here. I know you guys were missing your strong, amazing female leader of LA Love Creative, but I've been behind the scenes. I've been working, I've been doing my thing, and now I'm here to give you some great information. The main thing is we just did a photo shoot for an agency that we work with. We had a great model, we got great photos, and it got me thinking. A lot of photographers get caught up in their head all of the time about how to find the perfect location, how to get a studio, where are they going to shoot. The client doesn't understand the cost of a location, and sometimes it's just a matter of getting outside and working with what you got, because we all know that clients don't always understand the price of something or the cost of something, so they'll just throw out an idea to you and tell you to make it happen, and you're like, I have no idea how I'm supposed to get a photo out of this. I don't know, but anyway, what we're gonna talk about today is how to spruce up the background of your photos. Whether you are a new photographer and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, or a polished photographer that just needs a little creative spark, a little inspiration, a little push, a little hey, get out there and take photos because that's what your job is, that's what you're supposed to do. So this is going to give you inspiration. You probably already know half this stuff, but you know what? This is for you to get out there. Go shoot. Go shoot. I said go shoot. Okay, so let's get to it. First up is textures. When you are looking for a location and you go outside, don't just pick a blank wall and go, yeah, this is great. You can be creative with outside. I know you're gonna feel discouraged because you're thinking, oh, this is just outside again. Everyone shoots outside, but if you do some creative thinking, you can make your shots look very editorial, very cool, very artistic. What you're gonna wanna do is you're going to want to look for textures and colors that go with the wardrobe of what your model is wearing or the tone of what you wanna portray in this photo. When you're doing that, look at concrete, look at wood, look at janky, ugly places and corners and see what you can work with, because often you will be surprised at what you come up with. For our photo shoot with the model, we honestly drove past a dirt patch in the middle of the road with some bushes. And we were like, you know what? I see some potential there. And we pulled over. This is a dirt patch. People are driving by like, what the hell are those people doing with the photography? But we did it. And the model was cool. She was dope. She was down. You always want to work with people that are down. And we got some killer shots. And that is all about finding something that works, working with ugly spots, looking at textures, looking at shadows. Another thing that we did is we took a bed sheet. Everybody's got a bed sheet. We put the sheet up on a light stand. And again, if you don't have light stands, you can pin it up to a wall. Do what works for you. You can have it hanging on a corner. It doesn't need to take up the whole background. We're adding texture. We put it up, we had the model stand in front of it. It created really cool photos. We moved it around to create even more of a flow and texture to play around with, which made really killer photos in our opinion, if I don't say so myself. And that is something that is very easy for you to do. You can get different fabrics, different sheets, blankets, and those are quick and easy ways to spruce up the background of your photos with things that you have around the house, and also going outside and finding cool walls, wood, janky places, and making them work for you. Lighting. When working with models, you don't always have the opportunity, or clients, you don't always have the opportunity to shoot in golden hour. We've discussed this before. You will, as a photographer, have to shoot in harsh ass light sometimes. You're gonna have to make it work. So you can use harsh lighting, don't be afraid of it. I find that the best way to use harsh lighting and to work with what you got is to find shadows, to find corners, locations that have light beams or light peeking out from different places. We had the model stand in this really small amount of shade, but the light was coming in from behind her and created a beautiful hair light. So even though it was harsh lighting at the time, by giving her that shaded spot, it gave her a soft look on her face, beautiful hair light, good to go, looks professional, looks bomb. You can use lighting, let me just say, harsh lighting directly on your model if you're going for that look, for that kind of more grungy, hardcore, badass, I'm a rebel kind of look. But if you are working with a model where you want her to look soft, look for those shadows, look for those trees that will, add a softness to her face. We shoot in shadows a lot because we don't always have the luxury, as I mentioned, to always shoot in golden hour, and we're in Los Angeles, so you might not make golden hour, so you have to work with what you got. Utilize those shadows, utilize that light to create a background, texture, cool sharp edges, work with it, it is your friend. Find interactive backgrounds. You are already shooting outside, find places that your model can play around with and really tell a story. I find that stairwells, bushes, unique places for her to sit, these all work well in letting the model move around, and that is great for photography. It's great for your shots. It makes it less like you have to direct a person because you're giving them something to do, and it gives them more purpose when they're moving around. For our shoot, we had the model play with the sheet that we were using. When I mentioned the white sheet, we had her play around with it, and that created a whimsical kind of flirty vibe. On top of that, we actually moved the sheet while she was standing in front of it so that it moved around her, and this just created a really cool immersive kind of shot. Now also, when we went outside and we were shooting near the bushes and stuff, we had the model look through the bushes, interact with the flowers, created this inquisitive story versus, hey girl, stand next to the bush. Awkward. You know what I mean? So that's something that you want to do. And again, we found a stump, perfectly, like you would have thought this was a prop stump. That stump was made for me. That stump was like, I was a tree, now I'm a model. You know what I'm saying? So we found a stump, we had the model sit on the stump, play around with the stump, and it really did seem like we were in a studio that had like a forest vibe. That's how cool it was to have something for her to sit on, to move around with, and like have a good time. So shout out to that stump life. So those are my tips. Again, if you want to make your background pop, that's all I have to say in regards to sprucing up the backgrounds of your photos. If you have any questions on photography or filmmaking, hit us down below with your questions, and I will see you next time.